bring it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Brad Rucker for the touchdown. Grab shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling on a Thirsty Thursday. We're out at Yogi's in Grandview. Brandon Beam, Patrick Murphy, our guy Nate Dogg back in studio. Come hang out with us from 6 to 8 this evening. Lovely little Thursday we're having. Patrick, I see the Coors Lights are just out of reach for you.
Yeah, well, they do that intentionally. They understand.
They did that very much on purpose. How you doing, buddy? You doing all right?
I'm good.
Good. Fantastic. We got an awesome night here. Again, $3 draft Coors from 6 to 8. Come and hang out with us. How's your week been? All right? Have you settled back in from Hell is Real on Saturday?
Yeah, last night's 3-0 crew loss really set me back down one. Fortunately,
they gave up the goal early. I'm like, all right, well, they did it last week. Maybe they can catch fire again and do it on the road. And then
did not happen.
No, they had different plans.
No, so
they just didn't score a goal.
No, they did not score a goal. That is the big difference.
Yep.
But no, yes, I've come down from that excitement of that back into the regular week, getting ready for Big Ten Media Days next week, and then we're off and running.
Oh, I mean, it's crazy, man. It's here, right? I feel like once. This is and I know it sounds crazy because we're only in the middle of July, and to every other normal human being out there, you still have like a month left before school gets underway. And
right.
If you're a parent or you're a student, when Ohio State gets back on campus, like that's traditionally the end of summer. To us, it's next week. The end of summer is next week when you guys descend upon Vegas for Media Days. And then you get to Media Days, and then boom, all of a sudden, that very next Thursday, day one of Ohio State training camp out at the Woody. And there's tons of storylines to get in there. But you guys have to survive Vegas for 4 days.
That'll be fine. The heat will be one thing we have to deal with. Fortunately, I think everything is all in the same building, assuming you want to stay there. Now,
no, you're a roamer.
If you want to venture out, you're going to have to brace the heat a little bit. But no, it's a work trip. We all know that. So it should be fun. I'm excited. I'm interested to see, we talked about this, how they do it in Vegas as opposed to Indy or Chicago. I enjoy Vegas quite a bit. So, yeah, it should be good. And like you said, it's the start of this, which I'm always excited for.
What's your biggest question today about Ohio State football, Pat?
The quarterback. I think. I mean, I just think
just
I know
constantly the question.
Well, I mean,
everyone's mind.
That sounds easy, but also, is there a more important thing right now with this team? I don't think so. I mean, you figured out your left tackle. I think, unless something happens there, you've sorted out most of the questions of guys leaving that we had going into the offseason. You still have to figure out safety next to Caleb Downs. But for me, like, if you don't have that quarterback right, the season could turn in a way that Buckeye fans don't want. I don't think that's going to happen.
What, in your opinion, when you say turn, what is turn to you? What is an acceptable turn or non-acceptable turn for an Ohio State fan?
My immediate thought was like 9-3, but they won the national championship at 10-2, so I guess we have to reevaluate how we're assessing a bad season.
A bunch of three-loss teams that were arguing to get into the playoffs.
Right, and I think depending on what your losses are, you might be able to do that if you're Ohio State. So, yeah, I mean, I think it would be even worse than that. Yeah, so 4 losses would be a bad season. I mean, not making the college football playoff, I think,
Careful down there, Swanee.
Not making the college football playoff is a bad season. When you have 12 teams and you're Ohio State, you have the talent that you have. I guess that would be where I draw
the college football playoff era, have they finished below 12th?
No.
Like ever?
No.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
No. And that's crazy to say because Alabama didn't make it last year, right? Yeah. Now, some of that had to do, I think Alabama in the rankings was, 11th?
Yes, and then they got automatic qualified by Clemson, I think, clipped them, and SMU was above them. I don't know.
Yeah,
the
Indiana
rankings were weird and didn't really matter.
Right. So I think that is at least somewhat fixed this year in terms of at least the format of it. But, yeah, if you were not in, if you're Ohio State, you miss out on the playoff. And, look, if you are back and forth with quarterback play or neither guy is the guy, again, I don't think that's going to happen. I think either guy can lead this team. In Lincoln Kienholz or Julian Sayin, but that would be your biggest issue probably. Like, if you don't have the safety right, I think there's enough talent in that secondary to make up for it, right? The offensive line looks like it's going to be just fine. I think if you go through each position, there's reasons for optimism. The quarterback is just the one kind of still sitting out there that just needs answered. And I think the answer's there. It's just you might have two answers and have to figure out which one's the best.
Can you envision maybe a non-answer week one against Texas where we see both of those guys play? Because I think that's a nightmare scenario.
I agree. I think that Ryan Day will want, even if after that game, maybe you are still playing with who's the starter a little bit. You have a couple weeks there to do that. I definitely think going into that Texas game, you have to. It's like Texas in 05, right? They had both Justin Zwick and Troy Smith, but they sort of leaned more on Justin Zwick in that one. I think you have to have a guy. If it doesn't work out in the game, maybe you shift it, like the USC game out in California where they started with Todd Beckman. He's our starter. By the third quarter, Terrell Pryor had taken over. So if that...
Same thing happened with Braxton when he got unleashed,
exactly.
Right?
So, but both of those came in losses, right? You're hoping, even if the quarterback play isn't phenomenal, it's good enough to win at home against Texas.
It is. We got a great show lined up for you here this evening. Again, we're out in Yogi's in Grandview. You can come hang out with us. $3 course specials from 6 to 8. We got a very special guest in the house that's going to join us for the next couple of segments.
Where'd he go?
He's right to your left, hiding in a corner.
Oh, okay. He's always hiding.
Jackets insider Jeff Svoboda, he's going to join us. We'll talk some Jackets. I know that Igor Chinikov maybe requested a trade. We'll get his thoughts on that. But if you didn't know about Jeff's previous life, Jeff covered the Ohio State football team for like 15 years on the beat, 10 years. So
it was a long time. That's how I met Jeff.
He put a long time effort in of covering Ohio State. So we'll get some Ohio State stories with him. Maybe the Gronk story where he goes viral like every other month.
Absolutely, we're going to talk about the Gronk
We'll talk
story.
about that in the picture coming up with him, and we'll talk some Jackets with him for the next couple of segments around 6:17 and 6:30. Pat, I did see you post a question. 5 burning questions that you have for Ryan Day at Big Ten Media Days next week in Vegas. We will do the College Football Pulse at 7 o'clock. One SEC team and one SEC coach wants an exorbitant amount of teams in the playoffs. We'll get to that a little bit later on. And then the 7 o'clock hour, Bob had Carson Hinzmann on his show a little bit earlier this week, and it was very good. So you're going to hear from the starting center here at Ohio State coming up here in the 7 o'clock hour. But a great show lined up for you here this evening, again, out at Yogi's in Grandview. I did see this from yesterday, Pat. It's always good to win championships, right? And it's always good to win team championships, and it's always good to win program championships, and that's what Ohio State did as the winner of the Capital One Cup. And if you're saying, Beamer, what's the Capital One Cup? It honors the best men's and women's sports programs in the country. Ohio State won the award based on their top 10 national finishes in 7 men's sports, led by, of course, the national championship-winning Buckeye football team. Other Ohio State teams that contributed to the Buckeyes' winning totals: soccer, third, because they got to the Final Four, got upset in the Final Four. We don't need to talk about that, Pat, although I'm sure that we can to a very big extent. Fencing up 4th at the NCAA championships, wrestling tied for 5th at the NCAA's, 6th in tennis, 7th in gymnastics, and then 9th in the postseason coaches poll for lacrosse. So all in all, you add that together, that is another piece of hardware that you can add. I don't know where that stays. I don't know if that stays at the Fawcett Center. I don't know if that's housed in the Woody, that Capital One championship. It's always good to see when your collective sports teams can win a cumulative championship.
Is there a physical Capital One Cup? That's what we need to find out.
I feel like there has to be a physical Capital One Cup, right? I mean, if it's a piece of hardware, if it's called the Capital One Cup, it can't be an NFT. Like, you have to make it an actual physical trophy.
Next time we're in the Woody room, the trophy room over there, I'm going to look around for the Capital One Cup.
Ask Ross, if you're listening, where's the Capital One Cup? What do you think exists more? The Trillium Cup and where its whereabouts are, or the Capital One Cup?
Now you're just confusing people with so many cups.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows or cares about the Trillium Cup other than me and you.
I've seen it, though. And
recently?
Not that long ago.
Okay.
So I know it exists. I've not seen the Capital One Cup in person.
I haven't either, but a big congratulations to the Ohio State sports programs. First in men's sports, and if you're wondering about the women's program, the women's program, I believe, had gotten 7th, Pat, if I'm not mistaken. So all in all, a nice finish to the season for both of those. Jackets Insider, Jeff Svoboda. He's going to join the program. We'll talk a little Jackets with him, update on the Igor Chinikov, how Dev Camp went, what this summer is still holding in store for the Jackets, and we'll do a little Buckeye beat talk with our guy, Jackets Insider, Jeff Svoboda. Next, it's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
the only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Common Man and Timmy.
I chimed into the show for 2 seconds last week, and something about the good kind of diarrhea came up, and I flipped it right off. I'm like, no, there's nothing good about it.
Common Man and Timmy Afternoons on the Fan is sponsored by Hinderer Motorsports.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations. Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny, light winds, and not bad temperature-wise, mid-80s on this Thursday. Just a very slight chance of a shower or storm through this evening. Overnight will fall back down to around 70, partly cloudy skies and a mild start. During the day on Friday, more clouds than sun, temperatures in the low 80s and just a slight chance of a late-day shower or storm. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Ryan Day's favorite radio show. Probably.
maybe. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out here tonight at Yogi's in Grandview, $3 core specials until 8 o'clock. We are now joined by a very special guest, a great friend of the program, a great personal friend, also a great friend of Patrick Murphy, who's co-hosting tonight. He is Jackets insider Jeff Svoboda. Jeff, it's fantastic to see you. Thanks for coming out. You look great. How you feeling? Summer treating you all right?
Summer is treating me all right. I'm just very happy to be on the Buckeye Show, which is great because what do they do the previous 10 hours on the station before the Buckeye Show comes out?
I don't know. All Jackets talk.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Exactly.
Doing all Jackets talk.
And now we're bringing that to the Buckeye Show. We're just taking over.
Yes.
The Blue Jackets take over.
I was telling people before you came on here, I was telling our fine listeners that you covered this Ohio State football team for a long time, and then you moved up to the Toledo Blade, right?
Yes.
And then you came back down here to get the team reporter, Jackets insider, the job of the team insider for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Through your experience with Ohio State and with the football program, because this is the Buckeye Show, so we will talk a little Jackets. I promise we will get to Igor Chinikov. Do you have one memory on the Ohio State beat that stands out to you, other than us winning the land curling championships in 2014 down in Dallas?
That is a great point, and I wish there was a land curling table here. Maybe there is one upstairs.
I think there is one upstairs.
We could take on all comers tonight if we really wanted to.
$500 a game via Jeff. He's ponying up.
Okay, I didn't.
That's all
that.
on you. Not on me.
I didn't bring the wallet. That's a great question, and I'm trying to think. It's funny you did start there by mentioning 2014 because that was a national championship for Ohio State, and so kind of seeing that whole thing come together, winning, JT getting hurt, Ohio State beating Wisconsin with Cardale, and then winning one of the most unbelievable college football games of all time.
Talking about the Bama game?
The Bama game, yes, and then beating Oregon to win the national championship. As far as OSU history goes, and being someone who was born and bred in Buckeye culture. It was pretty cool to kind of see that history up close. So that definitely stands out there. I'm trying to think if there's any other, there's all sorts of little funny moments and great things. And actually a funny story from that season, Ohio State played up at Minnesota, and that was the game, the famous ice cream on the sideline game.
Jerry Keel, right?
The Minnesota coach is eating ice cream on the side.
Or was it the defensive coordinator? Yeah. One of their assistant coaches who looked very much like Jerry Keel.
Yes, yeah, and of course it's freezing. It's 20-some degrees in Minnesota, snow falling, and I'm standing down on the field watching warm-ups, and Jeff Hireman knew I was a big hockey fit guy, and he's doing his little warm-ups, and he sees me standing behind the end zone, and he finishes a drill, runs back, and comes up and just gives me a big hand slap and goes, "Hockey weather, brother." But it's just you have a million of those little stories of those little interactions and cool things that kind of stand out. So it's cool to have been around for some of those really cool memories and great games, and so many cool bowl games. I got to go to basically every big bowl game there is, and play land curling with you and things like that. So it's there's a lot of things that kind of go into it that when you get to see the people that are always really cool.
It was hockey weather that day in Minnesota. Were you there, Pat? Were you there?
I was there as a fan.
Okay.
We got up at 6 in the morning. My buddy's from Minnesota, and so he had friends at school there. We went. We drank as much as we could.
Naturally.
We snuck in mini liquor bottles. We drank
mini
those.
or many?
Mini.
Okay.
The airplane bottles that you can't drink on an airplane.
I didn't know the difference there.
Well, both, I guess.
I would guess both.
We were still very cold. There was no amount of alcohol that was keeping us from not being cold that day.
So luckily the SID, because I was doing student radio at the time, and we were covering the game, and you guys know this, student radio usually gets put outside, so you can get the ambiance for all 14 listeners that are listening in. And it's great. I loved it. It was fantastic. And the SID from Minnesota that day, I don't know if he's still there or not, was an Ohio State grad. And at the time, the Vikings hadn't finished their new stadium, so the Vikings were playing at the University of Minnesota Stadium.
Yes.
So he came up to us, and he was like, "Guys, we're not going to put you on the camera deck today. It's too cold for you." So he put us in the NFL replay booth, where they were
nice.
Where you would pick up the red phone and call into New York for the challenge. He's like, "Just don't touch anything in here, because if you do, I'm going to hear from it." And there was just this red phone that was sitting to my right during the broadcast that was blinking like the White House phone to the Kremlin. And I'm like, I want to pick it up and see who's on the other side of that, if anybody. Mind you, it's a Saturday. It's not an NFL Sunday, so it probably went to nobody. It's the biggest regret maybe I have in my life, not picking up that phone to see if Roger Goodell would have just picked up the phone and answered it.
Yeah, and if that had happened, they would have run in there like, no! Like, we told you not to touch anything.
We told you we had everything going on here.
I thought it was ringing.
I thought it was ringing. I wanted to pick it up.
I didn't know what to do.
I had no clue what to do. Jeff, before we go any further with the Buckeyes, let's get some Jackets talk in. News today, Igor Chinikov requesting a trade, not requesting a trade, coming from his agent via X. Very broken English translation of it, which you obviously get to hang out with and deal with through the season, but it's harder on a digital platform to really understand what this trade request, and I'm using air quotes if you can't see me, what it means for the Jackets. But that was some big Jackets news today.
Yes, his agent going on the aforementioned social media platform, his agent Shumi Babayev, who is quite a character in the hockey multiverse, going on there and basically saying that he would welcome a trade if it were to happen. I don't know, is there like an official trade request form you have to fill out to do? Is it like
you actually pick up that?
Yeah, I know. I should know this.
You pick up that red phone. And you have to call.
Yeah. But is it like the office was like, I declare bankruptcy? Like, that's not actually how it works.
You can't just say it. You have to declare it.
Yeah.
I declare bankruptcy.
I declare I have submitted a trade request, or how exactly this works. But it seems as though he would welcome a trade at this point, and I think this is something that naturally happens when you have a player who was struggling last year with injury, comes back. Basically had flashes of getting back to his game but didn't quite get there, and then ends up being a healthy scratch at the end of the season. I think pretty much any player in that situation would be dissatisfied and be frustrated because they didn't get to play. Hockey players want to play.
Yeah.
And so when he was a healthy scratch at the end of the season...
A lot of them play through gnarly injuries, too.
Yes, exactly. So when he was... And he wasn't the only one. Damon Severson was also in that camp as well. The Jackets had so many extra bodies at the end of last year that there were a number of guys who did not get a chance to play. So I'm sure none of those guys were happy. And, for Yegor Chinikov, I think he sees... his career has kind of, I don't want to say stalled out because he's still an incredibly talented player. First-round pick, fast, great speed, great shot. I think still has the makings of being a very high-level NHL player. But the injuries have hurt him so much over the last couple of years when it comes to being on the ice consistently. And, as they say in pro sports, the most important ability is availability. And, it's been 3 straight years now where he has struggled to stay healthy. And so, we've seen the flashes of how good he can be, and we've also seen, the fact that he's missed time over the last couple of years. And so, I think he's just in that situation where he's naturally unhappy. Now, I've seen so often in sports, hockey in particular, that a player who is dissatisfied doesn't get traded, comes back, plays well, and suddenly everybody's happy. I mean, so that's just the nature of the game, is when you're not playing, you're not happy.
Well, you have to put yourself in Igor Chinikov's shoes, right? I mean, he's been here for a little bit of time now. He's been hurt. He has missed a lot of games. And then when you come back, sometime you got a new coach this year. Dean Evison came in. It was a very different pendulum swing from what you had in the previous years.
Yeah. And was a coach that started him on the first line as well. So
so he had faith in him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, what happened, man? I'm getting a healthy scratch. And you know this, Jeff, more than anybody, because you cover the team and you go to all 82 games and you're on the road with the team and you're always at the rink, including this morning at 7 o'clock. That it's an incredibly tough league to just play 82 games in. It's an incredibly tough league to play 82 games in and output at a level in which you're looked at to be a key contributor for a team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw, was it a couple years ago where the Jackets didn't have a single player that played 82 games?
That was crazy.
Yeah, so that these types of things happen. So, certainly it seems as though he would welcome a change of scenery, and sometimes these things just happen. That's just the way life is. And we've seen the Jackets make a number of these trades over the years where sometimes it just benefits everybody for a change of scenery. So, it seems as though they're looking, I don't think they're going to just give them away. And so the situation
like the Chili Peppers, you can't just give it away now.
Not giving it away now, exactly. So, if a deal that makes sense for everybody involved comes along, I think the Blue Jackets would take it. And if not, and we get to September 20th or whatever the first day of training camp is, and he's still on the roster, it's on him to show up. And if you want to be happy, you want to get the minutes that you think you deserve, well, clean slate, new season, go out there and earn it. And if you play well, you'll be a big part of this. So we'll just have to kind of see where this goes now.
You understand this. We've been having Pat and Austin Ward in to do these shows, and I've just been pestering these guys and badgering them. Their top camp storylines as we get closer to Ohio State camp. We're 2 weeks away, I believe, from today. Ohio State camp starting, so we're 14 days away from that. What's your most fascinating storyline for Jackets camp? I'll spare you the Ohio State camp question. Is it goalie? Is it something else? Is it just how this team miraculously came together last year and was so close to a playoff berth? Like, what's your burning question? I know we're a little bit more time away from Jackets camp beginning, but what are you asking yourself here in the summer about this team?
Yeah, now the Chinakhov thing becomes a big storyline, I would say. I think probably goalie, and just the general question of can they keep more pucks out of the net. And I know it's not a super sexy thing to talk about defense.
Well, you are the e-bug for the Jackets, so of course that's where you naturally
I will
go.
be in the goalie discussion, obviously.
God help us if that's true.
That's whatever. That always happens on Twitter. People are like, "Oh, you get in your gear to be the e-bug." It's like if I go in, no one wants to see that. But they proved last year they could score goals, and they have so many good, young, talented offensive players that are a big part of this. But it's been, I think, 4 or 5 years in a row now where they have been one of the worst 8 defensive teams in the NHL, and you're just not going to be a playoff team. Or if you are a playoff team, you're not going to get very far in the playoffs if that's the case. And so, they're running it back. There wasn't a whole lot of options out there to improve the team defensively and through free agency. You end up with Ivan Provorov and Dante Fabro coming back.
I liked the Fabro contract.
Yeah, I do too. And Provorov, I talked about availability.
Yeah.
That's a guy that's going to play 82 games for you.
Yes, he is.
And there's something to be said for that, in addition to him, what he brings as a player as well. So, there's so much goes into team defense. The forwards have to be dedicated to it. You have to have the right mix of 6 guys on your back end, and then they have to support your goaltender. And we've seen, Elvis has had his ups and downs throughout the years. I think there were some games last year where he played really well, and there were some games, especially at the end of the year, where he struggled. And so consistency there is a question mark. You've got a big unknown with Jet Greaves, who I think,
he was pretty known at the end of the season.
He was.
That was nice to see.
Yeah, but is this a guy that can do it consistently? I love his work ethic. I love his habits. I think that he's very well liked by his teammates. But, the size thing is real. I mean, there's not a ton of highly successful goalies that are right around the 6 foot tall range in the NHL right now.
Other than you.
Other than me. So
he's right about 6 foot. Too.
I noticed how he said right about 6 foot, not 6 foot.
I'm trying to chalk around the fact that I'm 5'6". 5'7" on Hinge, as I
You're in
show.
good company here.
This is not the tallest show on the network. But will there be a book that gets out on him, or can he overcome the lack of size to be a consistent NHL goalie? So that's going to be the biggest question. And like I say, I know it's not the fun thing to talk about because people love goals, but they just have to be a better defensive team to be a playoff contender. That's the reality of the situation.
We will get to what everybody came here for. Your story and going viral with Rob Gronkowski coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
With over 33 years of experience, Newman Roofing has become a household name in Central Ohio. Voted best roofing company 4 years in a row, Newman Roofing delivers a white glove experience every time. When it comes to your roof, call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University, Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership is better than ever. Save up to $1,100 each year on gas, groceries, delivery fees, and streaming options. With double fuel points, unlimited free delivery, and exclusive savings for members, there's so much to love about Boost. Sign up for a Boost membership today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend this show. The other dentist is a Michigan fan. Yuck. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out at Yogi's in Grandview. I've got my guy Pat Murphy with me tonight. Also have Jackets insider Jeff Svoboda right next to us. All right, everybody came for this question.
Jeff's favorite question.
I know it is, and you go viral. I don't even know how often it is on X. It's multiple times a year.
Yes.
It's 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 times a year, depending on what Gronk is doing in the news. There is a fantastic picture of you that just lives online, and it's Rob Gronkowski, who is on his visit, obviously severely hungover in this picture. And if you go back and listen
Probably
to Rob,
wasn't the only one.
Yeah,
I was going to say, who were you talking about?
You were a student at the time, I think that's
I just graduated.
You had just graduated. Yeah,
he's of age.
You were a student previously.
Yes.
I'm trying to give you some wiggle room here. So there's this picture that goes viral again 2 or 3 times a year, and I feel like every time that I see it, I have to tag you in it because I know it makes you so mad that it's a very disheveled Gronk, and in the background you see a very young Jeffrey Svoboda with blonde hair, glasses. You have the Ohio State photography vest on, and it's maybe one of my favorite pictures of all time. Can you detail what and how that picture has gone viral through the years and why or not you love it?
Why were you partying with Gronk the night before?
Yeah, well, I mean...
And let us know how that went.
I had to show him a good time. He doesn't even remember me anymore. He hasn't reached out. He hasn't done anything.
Well, he got too big.
Yeah, he did get too big. You think you know somebody.
Do you think you can send him that picture framed with your autograph on it and send it to him?
That would be great. I still, one of these days, want to reprise this photo and get it taken again. But yeah, it was the Ohio State-Michigan game, 2006. Was working for Buckeye Sports Bulletin at the time and our website, which was an independent website that had no subscribers. No offense to BSB, but that was just the reality of the scenario. But one of the things we had to do before every Ohio State football game was go down on the sideline, and Pat is probably familiar with this, see what recruits are there.
Yeah.
And I remember Rob Gronkowski at the time was from Pittsburgh Woodland Hills High School. He was like a 4-star tight end. He was a good recruit. No one knew he was going to become
Gronk,
uber celebrity Gronk. Yes. So, I'm down there on the field. I'm just, you do that routine where you're basically stalking these players on the sideline. Paparazzi, looking around, looking at the name tags of the players, writing down who was there so that you could report, what recruits are at the Ohio State-Michigan game, especially in 2006, which was a very big Ohio State-Michigan game.
Yes, it was.
And so,
maybe the biggest we've seen.
Maybe the biggest we've seen. So my coworker, Adam Jardy, who now works for the Dispatch,
Yeah, we know him. He's a good friend of the program.
Yeah. So in the midst of me being down there, he snaps this photo of Gronk on the sideline in his state of disrepair.
Yes.
And
hoodie on. I can see it's burned into my mind. He's got a hoodie on, and he's kind of squinting. Looks like he might be mildly queasy, on the verge of maybe throwing up or exerting some other bodily function.
Yes.
Where he does not look great.
Yes.
You look awesome, though.
And I'm in the background of this photo. And then I think it ran on our website. I think it maybe ran in our magazine back in 2006. And then I did not see this photo for probably 10 to 15 years. It just disappeared.
As most photos do,
yes.
In that situation.
Yeah, and then suddenly, a couple years ago, it starts going viral again, as you said, multiple times a year, where some website or Instagram account or whatever it might be will be like, ha, 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 look at this photo of drunk, hungover Rob Gronkowski visiting the Ohio State-Michigan game. And I'm inevitably in the background of this photo, and then people tag me in this photo as though I don't know I'm in it. That's the part that is a little annoying to me, is the people who then go, oh, hey, Jeff, here's this. Yes, I'm aware. Yeah. I know.
I was there.
I was in the photo. So now it has become part of internet lore, is that this photo is famous, and I happen to be in the background. And there was a podcast, the Chris Long podcast.
That's where it became famous again. That's where it went viral again this past year.
Yeah, they actually had Gronk on, and he talked about his memories of that. So I sent them a DM, not thinking that they would ever respond, but I was like, hey, just in case you're wondering, I'm the idiot in the background. And they actually had me do a selfie video explaining my side of the story, and they put it on social media. But it is, it's one of those things that it may very well be on my tombstone at this point, is that, I can write a million stories about Ohio State or the Blue Jackets and all these great articles, and the only thing people will ever remember about me is that I was in the background of the Rob Gronkowski photo.
I think what it should say on your tombstone, Jeff Svoboda, the man behind Rob Gronkowski.
It should be, yeah.
Just like you were the reason for it, the impetus for
I
his
actually
career.
think on the tombstone you should just have that picture.
Just that.
Yeah, just
no
have
name, no date. Just that picture.
Here lies the man behind Rob Gronkowski.
Just lies
in the
here,
in the
picture.
viral picture.
This is also one of the great things about our line of work is that you never know what might happen. Like, the fact that this has gone viral and it's like a thing that pops up in my life, like, who could have imagined something like this would ever happen? But in our line of work, when you're around these types of situations, you just never know what might happen. Like, you might end up in the background of a viral photo.
Yeah, what's the closest you've come, Pat? Because you're on the sidelines all the time.
So if you watch the Curtis Samuel touchdown against Michigan in the overtime, I am
in
right.
The stupid cannonball helmets, yeah.
Yes, I am right there in the end zone as he spreads his arms, and the ESPN broadcast, like, I'm very clearly featured. So it's not blown up the way that yours has, but I do get people every once in a while just like text me, like, is that you? And I'm also holding my phone up because I believe, taking a Snapchat of it instead of like a real video.
Was it a personal Snapchat or one that you were just using?
Oh no, I was just I don't know why else my phone would be vertical instead of horizontal. But that's the one thing that I'll get every once in a while. Not nearly as famous as Jeff, though. But.
Yeah, I think the closest that I have, and nobody will know this unless you're specifically watching for me, in the 2014 Cotton Bowl against Oregon, national championship game down in Dallas, when we were the land curling champions. When Tyvis intercepts, no, actually it was the Sugar Bowl. It was the Sugar Bowl. It was down in New Orleans. When Tyvis intercepts the ball at the goal line, I'm right there being bubble boy for the Ohio State radio network. So, like, you can see me with my eyes, like, looking at Tyvis, just on the sideline, like 2 feet away from him, hoping that I wouldn't get truck sticked and end up on not top 10.
I must have been right next to you because I'm sort of right on the pylon as well.
You had to be.
So I had to be right next to you. And it's weird. It's hard to kind of see the sideline, but I know I'm right there.
Yeah, same.
Again, another situation, I was there. It's always funny when you end up in kind of those random situations in life where you just never know you're going to be in the background of.
You have no clue.
Head on a swivel all the time.
How would you like covering this Ohio State team in college athletics now with NIL and everything going on?
It would be a lot harder. I think I got out at the right time.
Can confirm.
And that's where you were just talking about how Buckeye Camp is about to start.
Yeah.
And we're still 2 months away from Blue Jackets Camp. Pat's life is over in like 2 weeks.
It's over next week.
He's going to Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas.
Here's how my summer works. It starts really after the spring game, so it gets started a little bit earlier than most people's because pretty much then my life just calms down. Like, I still have to work.
He gets to drink and watch soccer.
Yep.
A lot.
And then we get to the actual summer. There's some recruiting camps, but that's during the day. It's fine. You hit July 4th, and I'm like, all right, it's about to be football season. And then my birthday, which is on Saturday, that is literally the end. That's the last, whenever that is, that's that last weekend because Media Days is always right afterwards. So that's how I kind of measure my summer is like, well, my birthday's the last hurrah, and then it's time to go to work.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's in Vegas this year as well.
It is. We were talking about that before you came on.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Call back from the first segment. It's just, it always was a 365 type job, but now with the transfer portal and everything, it really has changed a lot. And I also, like, so many of these changes I think are good. Like, the athletes should be getting paid. They should be able to go attend school where they want to be. But it's also just, it has somewhat taken away from what made college sports so much more special and different than the NFL. Like, it kind of is just an observer now of college sports. It just feels so much more corporate than it did even 10 years ago, and certainly 30 years ago. And, like I say, these players deserve what they're getting. They deserve the right to be compensated for what they're doing. They deserve the right to not, if coaches can change schools every year, why can't players? Like, it's a free country. Like, they should have these things. But it does make it a little bit harder to follow just as a fan. And it also just makes it's not the same. I worry what we're losing with these changes. And I hate to, I still love, that first college football Saturday, balls in the air, Buckeyes, Longhorns. I'm going to be, probably at outer end.
On the sidelines with a recruit where you're going to go very viral 20 years from now.
Yeah. No, I can't wait for that. I still love watching it. But I just worry of what we're losing from what made it so much more special than pro football.
It's like when college basketball went to the one and done, right? Like all of a sudden you had these guys coming in, they were there for a year, you didn't really form relationships with them. Well, now you don't know who in football or any sport really is going to be around. It's a year-to-year thing, right? That's the relationship.
Yeah, and it's great for them. They deserve it.
Absolutely.
But as a fan,
it changes.
It changes it. It changes your relationship with. And Ohio State has taken advantage of these things where like someone like Will Howard could come in and be a quarterback for a year and win a national championship and be beloved in Columbus, and deservedly so. And I think he really embraced everything Ohio State was all about. But it's just, I don't know, it's like I miss the stories of the guys who would stick it out and love the university and wanted to be Buckeyes. And then by the time they're juniors or seniors, like they get their opportunity and they shine, and it means so much to them because of what they went through to get there. And maybe I'm just being an old man yelling at a cloud with some of this, but I think that is what made college sports so different than the NFL. And I just worry that it's going to become too much like the pro side of things.
Well, the good news is that I know you're going to continue hanging out here at Yogi's, and we've got some great sound from Carson Hinzmann, who did exactly that, coming up in the 7 o'clock hour.
Look at you.
Good for that's it. I knew I was setting that up.
Yeah, you were. You looked at the prep sheet. You actually cheated. You saw the prep sheet, and you knew that we were going to do that. Before we get you out of here, how was Hamilton, and how did Dino like it? I know he was sitting next to you. He's a big Broadway guy.
For some reason, I decided to go with my girlfriend instead of my head coach of the Blue Jackets.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know what came over me if I could have gone with Dino. I'm sure he would love it. I know he's a big Broadway show guy. Did you ever ask him about his favorite shows? When
yeah, of course. I feel like we unlocked the fact that he was a big. He's a big theater guy.
He is a big theater guy,
and he raves about the theater scene here in Columbus.
Yeah, and that's the first time I'd been to the Ohio Theater outside of summer movie series in quite some time, and it's an incredible show.
Yeah.
It's really truly. I can only imagine. This is the first time I had seen it. I had not gone previously.
Have you heard it? Have you heard it though?
Yeah,
I feel like my wife has
escape.
played the soundtrack 10,000 times in her house.
Yeah, you can't escape Hamilton, but like to see it live, it really just brings it to life. And I can only imagine what it was like when it first came out and people started seeing it.
Imagine being there for the duel in real life.
Well, right. But I imagine the show just changed. Like people on Broadway were like, "Oh my God, this is incredible!"
Yeah.
Like I'm sure it was. I can understand why it was a phenomenon. It was very fun.
Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for popping out tonight. Enjoy some of these frosty cores while Pat and I continue to work. Okay?
Well, if I have to, I have to.
Yes, Jackets insider Jeff Svoboda, everybody. Fantastic job out of him. Wish him luck too on the remainder of his summer, because it's going to be over before you know it, and we're going to be into hockey season. We were just speaking of Vegas right there. Pat's heading out there next week. He's got 5 burning questions for Ryan Day at Big Ten Media Days. We'll get into that coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company for your next vehicle. This is Justin Hinderer. Every vehicle comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty, award-winning service, and our exclusive Carvenience. We pick up your vehicle, service it, and return it so you save time and enjoy peace of mind. That's Carvenience. At Hinderer Motor Company, we take care of everything so you can drive worry-free. See why we're the best choice for your next new or used car by visiting HindererMotorCompany.com.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system. Building strong, lasting relationships, we're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut, to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Rothman and Ice.
Your front office has the ability to maneuver these numbers around. Cap space is a thing, but sometimes the way it looks on paper, it's not as concrete as it may seem.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With TrueHold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since TrueHold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit TrueHold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. It's time for your daily dose of vitamin B. B stands for Buckeyes, just in case that wasn't clear. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out at Yogi's in Grandview, $3 draft, Coors Light until 8 o'clock. Got the Murph Dog with me, Patrick Murphy. Always thank Jackets Insider Jeff Svoboda for popping by. He's got a Coors Light in hand now that he is currently off duty.
Jealous.
He is very much enjoying his summer. What do you got planned for your birthday on Saturday?
Crew game. United preseason.
Are we wearing the retro kits on Saturday?
They are wearing them, yes.
Are you going to buy one?
I already bought one.
Oh, you did? I was on the team shop last night. I was very close to purchasing, because I've told you this before. If I'm going to buy a jersey, it's going to be Darlington Nagbe.
Yes.
And I feel like if there's one jersey to buy, it would be the retro kit. And I was so close, Pat. It was in my cart. And I'm like, I'm this close, but maybe I need a couple more days.
They're pricey.
Yeah, they are. But they're the same price as the normal.
Yeah, all the jerseys are pricey. Yes, I went down to the store yesterday at around lunchtime.
Do they have them in stock over there?
Yes, with name and numbers. You can get whatever you want on it, but they already have some. I think Nagbe, Herrera, Farsi, which will be interesting. That's a different topic. Arfston.
Yeah, they have an AZ Jackson?
They do not have an AZ Jackson one readily available. I did wear it last night for when they lost, because Saturday they're putting Scalotto in the Ring of Honor. So I'm wearing
first 10,000 fans in there get a bobblehead.
Yes,
DJ.
yes. So I'll be wearing my Scalotto jersey Saturday. But yeah, I'm doing that. We've got a United preseason game in the morning, so I'll be drinking early and often.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
sounds like
bad.
you got a good weekend. You got a good birthday lined up for you. I saw you were writing this, Pat, earlier today on Bucknuts, which is where you normally write for.
Yes.
Your 5 burning questions for Ryan Day when you get to Media Days out in Las Vegas. Obviously, I feel like, honestly, this team comes in here pretty under the radar. Now, not here specifically in Central Ohio and in Buckeye Land, but from a conference perspective, you've got the NCAA investigation hanging over like a cloud for Michigan. You have Penn State and all their preseason hype. for being this year's Indiana, right? So you've got that going. Not this year's Indiana, that's Illinois, but you've got them being heralded as national championship or bust with all they brought back. You have Illinois and Brett Bielema, who has been heralded as this year's Indiana. So I feel like Ohio State, as far as the actual storylines go for the conference, are pretty low on the totem pole. But you wrote an article today about your 5 questions that you have specifically for Ryan Day. What are those? Can you share those with us and how you came up with them?
Yes. Well, first, to your point about sort of flying on the radar, like, despite being the defending national champion, it just feels like they're going into media days as normal. Like, there's not this huge, maybe it would be if they, like in 2015 when so many guys came back, but there's just not like this huge buzz about it. I assume it will be when we get out there and, you get Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles, obviously. But for me, and there could have been a lot more here, obviously, Ryan Day will sit down for almost an hour with us at one point during there, so there will be a lot of questions asked. But we've talked about this one a little bit of just like handling being the defending national champions. How do you do that? There's the actual physical side of it of like we have to go out and live up to the work we put in a year ago, maybe even go beyond that. But there's also the mental side of you've heard the positive things this offseason. Guys, taking down banners and wanting to show that we're winning our own national championship. Easier to say, and then when you actually have to do it, the work you put in, the mental struggle you have to go throughout the off season. They're about to hit fall camp. There'll be a lot of conditioning exercises, things like that. So, as Ryan Day, how do you manage all that? I think is very important, and he's not done that before. Right? He's not been.
Well, he's not been a national champion before.
Exactly.
It's the first off season as a national champion.
Yeah, and
right.
Looking back, I don't even think his time in the NFL, they didn't win anything there, like his previous stop. So really, this is all new.
Wasn't here when Ohio State won in 2014.
Right. So other than the Big Ten championship that they won early on in his tenure, that to me is really the biggest thing he's going to have to overcome. His thoughts on the college football playoff format. He's touched on this a little bit.
We're going to get to Eli Drinkwitz's thoughts on the college football playoff format coming up into the in the College Football Pulse when we do that at the 7 o'clock hour. I don't think Ryan Day's probably going to have the same thoughts or methods that Eli Drinkwitz did today.
No, I don't think so. And he's talked about it a little bit. I think he supports the Big Ten 4-4-2-2-1 format. But still, just kind of where does he stand on things? It's been a while since he's been asked about it. Things can change. How long you let the quarterback competition go, that's not really something he dictates.
11:45, August 30th.
See, I just think you have to have, not that you need a cutoff date, but you want one of those guys to have at least a week leading into that Texas game.
I agree 1,000%.
You take the first team rep. Now, you can't force that either, because if one guy doesn't win the job, you've got to kind of figure it out that week, still going with both guys. So you've got to let them sort of be their own, go through the process and everything.
You got to let the process dictate the process,
exactly.
Right?
And so, but does he have, ideally, would you like a week? Would you like 2 weeks?
I think ideally you would have already had a quarterback named, and then you could go into fall camp without having a quarterback competition. In an ideal world,
yes.
I think that's probably what he wanted. Now, we're not living in that said world, and we do get a quarterback.
We're living in the transfer portal world where you have to, even if you know who the starting quarterback is, you kind of have to play that game. His confidence level in the 2 new coordinators. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he hired them, so he's confident in them, no doubt about that. But he's now gone through most of the offseason working with Brian Hartline in a different role and Matt Patricia in a new role. How has that been? Are things going as well as he hoped? Things like that. If these guys don't work out well, that could change some things this season. If Matt Patricia can't make that jump from the not a jump, I guess it's a jump down. I don't know how you describe it.
It's a jump, all right? It's a different level. What do you think of a guy going from college to the NFL? It's a jump up. I guess this would be it would be a jump down, but it's still technically
a jump. Lateral jump because you're Ohio State. But if that's, if that doesn't work as well as you assume it will, that could be problematic. Brian Hartline, he's going to have to call plays.
But I also, a little sub-story on Brian Hartline, and Austin and I were getting into it a little bit last night and I believe on Tuesday. All depending on the quarterback that you select, too, and the quarterback that ends up winning the job during fall camp, how different this offense could possibly look under Lincoln Kienholz than it does versus Julian Sayin.
For sure. I mean, Lincoln Kienholz with his athleticism, not to say that Julian isn't an athlete, he definitely is, but Lincoln would look to run more.
Yeah.
I think. Now, how much does
fair.
Ohio State's offense allow you to do that? We thought Will Howard was going to run more than C.J. Stroud, and it turned out they really weren't that different. Now, Will Howard did it in some big moments, but
tripped a couple of times, had some fun along the way.
He did. Ultimately got the job done, though. So, it could definitely look different, and then that changes what Brian Hartline's doing. And, again, this is all new to Brian Hartline. So just how's the process coming along with both those guys? And then finally, just biggest concerns he has headed into fall camp. And I always like to, because he's pretty honest about this stuff. He's not going to say, well, this guy's trash and this guy's trash. He's just not going to do that. But he will give us usually, look, we still need to get some production here. We need this, we need that. Like, there are some obvious ones, obviously figuring out quarterback, backup defensive tackle, like things we've talked about all summer, right?
Sure.
But every once in a while, he'll say something, and I'm like, I hadn't thought about that. You've clearly seen something because you're there every day that we haven't.
Yeah, you're watching every snap.
So, so I think that is that's always an interesting perspective to get from him. Even the coordinators, too. Like, are there things you're seeing that maybe you're a little iffy about, that maybe we haven't talked about much and things like that. So great time. There will be tons more questions. Like I said, he does the 15 minutes at the podium, then he does 40 minutes sitting down, 45 minutes I think it is, which is a madhouse. I'll be lucky to get one of those questions in because people are just yelling. Well, I'll do my best.
I have faith in you. Just shove your way in there. You'll be all right.
Well, it's not even a matter of that. It's just yelling.
Just say like Tim May, I've got a two-parter for you, and then just ask for it.
Just ask them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we could sit here probably for multiple segments and come up with relevant questions for him going into this season.
So we were just talking about the college football playoff and its impending expansion. We've actually lost the plot, though, when our thoughts have crossed the brain line of the college football playoff expansion. One SEC coach lost their mind a little bit earlier today. We'll do that in the Pulse coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to sponsor The Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive, benefiting Life Care Alliance. You can help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. How can you help? Purchase new box fans and bring them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station, or you can buy online and ship fans directly to Life Care Alliance. The collection and distribution of fans is to assist residents who are at risk of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
The Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu is adding some pals. Donato's savory and delicious family recipe meatballs are now on the Pizza Pals menus, along with new Oreo twists. Sweet, delicious pull-apart twists with real Oreo cookie pieces drizzled with vanilla icing. You can order unlimited $5 Pizza Pals with any large pizza. So order today and load up on all the Pizza Pals you want. Donato's, gotta love more. Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear. Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Nate Pooterball. In the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers have come to terms on a 3-year contract extension with T.J. Watt worth $123 million with $108 fully guaranteed. This deal makes Watt the highest-paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. Across the pond in Portrush, Ireland, round one of the Open Championship sees a 5-way tie atop the leaderboard. Jacob Olesen, Ha-Tong Lee, Christian Bezuidenhout, Matt Fitzpatrick, and American English Harris all sitting at 4 under. 4 golfers, including Scotty Scheffler, sit just 1 shot back. And the agent for Blue Jackets right winger Yegor Chenikov has made public his desire to be traded to a different team. He has 1 year left on his deal and missed 40 games last season due to a back injury. And 9-time NBA All-Star Damian Lillard is finalizing a 3-year, $42 million deal to return to the Portland Trail Blazers, where he spent the first 11 seasons of his career. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Number 2 for us here on this beautiful Thursday evening. Pat Murphy and I are over at Yogi's in Grandview. Still got 1 hour left to claim those Coors Light special $3 drafts until 8 o'clock. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic night. I know that we're having a great night. Maybe not as good of a night as T.J. Watt is having, though, because that seems like he's probably having a pretty good time with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane money. And I get it. He's one of the best at what he does, and when you are in that line of work, you can make money like that. We saw it already this offseason with Myles Garrett.
Yeah, was it $1 million more than Myles?
Is that what it was?
I think it was.
Okay,
like
that makes sense.
It was $1 million more.
They always up each other, right? Like because it's always great when you're the first guy and everyone's like, wow, what? But then the next guy and the next guy and the next. So, it's those records are. They say records are meant to be broken. Those records are meant to be broken like a month later.
$123 million extension. It includes $108 fully guaranteed at signing. Just imagine $108 million hitting your checking account.
Straight in.
Now, I'm sure that he's got that portfolio diversified, and it's not all going to his checking account. In my world that I'm living in, $108 million is hitting my checking account, and then who knows what I'm doing.
I've always thought about it like this. Like, Sam Bradford was the last number 1 pick to just be able to get whatever he wanted, right?
And then they had the CBA, and now all the rookie deals are tiered.
Yeah, and still that's a lot of money, especially early round picks. But just that moment, and this was pre-NIL, remember? That moment when, like, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much money. Like, I would just want it in, like, $100 bills. And
just to lay on it?
Yeah, not to do anything crazy.
Like
but
Walter White did in Breaking Bad?
Yes. Throwing it around, just enjoying that amount of money. I once sold my car. My car was totaled.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Hyundai Accent, I believe.
What year?
Oh, I don't know. This was
mid-90s?
Shortly after college. No.
Early 2000s?
This was like 2012 maybe.
Oh, okay. That's a nice car.
But I totaled it. It'd been a couple accidents. Anyway, I got the money in cash because I was going to buy a used car to replace it.
Did you get shaky when they handed you the cash?
I literally went back to my apartment because there was like 3 hours before I could go, and I just had. And this isn't, we're talking thousands here, not millions.
$108 million.
And I just I laid the money down on the table, and just I had a buddy with me, and we were just pretending like we were rolling deep, and then I spent it on a car that didn't last me that long.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah, congratulations to TJ Watt. We got Jen here, who is a big Steelers fan. I asked her for her response, her official press release. She said, yay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
About time. So the Steelers looking pretty good in the offseason. Glad they were able to get that deal done. Nate Dogg, how you living back in the studio?
Slaving away. Some of us have to be back here doing some work,
Hey, good job fixing that video, too. I don't know if it was you or the promotions team that got it fixed, but we're up and running now. You can see Patrick's beautiful smiling face.
All right, in the pulse, I'm hoping someone is calling an ambulance out at SEC Media Days. Eli Drinkwitz clearly is suffering from CTE because he said this.
It's not really something that's outrageous. It's based off of the 12-team playoff where you had automatic qualifiers, but now we've decided we want to expand it to 16. So instead of doing 11 and 5, which you're going to put 11 teams in the hands of a human committee that nobody's going to agree. They're all going to have implicit bias. Why would we even do that? I mean, nobody thinks that the NCAA, we spend hours arguing about who was the 69th and 70th team in the NCAA tournament. What do you think we're going to do with the 11 there? So why not expand the opportunities, give 4 play-in games to the SEC, 4 play-in games to the Big Ten, 3 to the ACC, 3 to the Big 12, and say, man, create more opportunities for the fan bases to get excited, create more opportunities for players to compete for championships. And that doesn't sit well with probably some of the blue bloods who are going to consistently be ranked in preseason rankings in the top 25 explicitly because of their names, not necessarily because of their teams, but because of the brand bias that we have in college football. Instead, make people earn it. Make people earn it on the field. Let's have less talk, which doesn't do great for these kind of events, and let's settle it on the football field. And to me, that's what play-in games are. If you're telling me in the SEC, hey, you got to finish in the top 8 for a chance to compete for a playoff berth, that's doable. Then it's not about, this is the hardest conference in college football. Yeah, it is, but you got to figure out a way to be 8. In the NFL, you got to figure out a way to be one of the best 4 teams in your division to make the playoffs. 44% of the teams in the NFL make the playoffs. We're talking about 10% of college football teams going to make the playoffs, and we think that's going to keep fan bases encouraged. We think that's going to continue to create multi-billion-dollar industry. College football is still reliant on financial assistance from fans. We can talk about ESPN dollars and all we want, but they still need fans to come to the games and sell tickets. And if at the end of the day, in the next 5 or 10 years, it's still the same 15 teams making it, what are you going to do to the rest of these fan bases? They're going to quit showing up.
All right, there's a lot there. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, Nate Dogg. One, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Pat.
I will.
You cover Ohio State for a living. You cover college football. So do I. The regular season are your playing games, okay? You don't want to miss out on the playoffs. Don't lose games in the regular season. That's inherently what we love about college football because each and every Saturday we get so fired up whether Ohio State wins or loses, and take Ohio State out of the equation, whether you're talking about Bama, whether you're talking about Georgia, whether you're talking about Michigan, whether you're talking about Penn State. Every fan base gets so upset when their team loses. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about a 30-team playoff, 3-0, you're at 12 right now. I don't even like 16, but they're going to do it anyways. That is crazy to even say out loud, to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you're going to reward a team who goes undefeated in your conference by playing the number 8 team. No, that's not how it should work. I get where he's coming from, but it's a really bad idea.
I like the idea of not relying on the committee as much and having teams play it on the field, but I don't think, like you're saying, we need a huge playoff format like that.
But that's the difference between the NFL and college football. Like, the NFL is its own thing. Yeah. College football, we love it because each and every Saturday the game matters.
Yes, and that is the thing, too. And, look, we've lost some of that already, right? And I don't want to lose more of that because in the NFL, look, when the Bears lose in your case or the Rams lose,
I don't care.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, you'd rather have your Sunday where it's like, hey, my team won. That feels good, right?
It does. But it leads you into a nice feeling week.
Yes, but it doesn't hurt like it did in college football growing up when one loss did it.
Still.
Now, if you're Ohio State, you can have, we just talked about it, a couple losses, maybe 3 losses, and still get in. But I saw people walking out of that Oregon game. I watched the players walk off the field of that Oregon game in Eugene. Losing that game hurt because they knew, okay, we don't have a ton of wiggle room now, and it was especially in the first year. So, yeah, the regular season to me needs to continue to matter and matter in a big way. I also think, despite the fact that in our line of work, when the committee puts out its rankings every week, that's something that I can write about and we can talk about. But if there's a way to balance that, where you have some of the playing games, maybe you get rid of the conference championship, you're still going to need the committee, right? Because you have too many teams to not have.
I said this to Austin last night. Go back to BCS. Let's go back to the computers.
Just going to say that, because if you look at the BCS since the BCS left, almost it would quiet so many arguments. Because there's no bias. Is it perfect? No, but you're not going to find a perfect system. I honestly think with AI and things like that, it would probably even be better now.
Pat, I literally said the same exact thing with Austin last night. We've had so many evolutions of more computers and AI technology since the BCS was even a thing, that you could literally punch in every metric that you want to measure: offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, SPS Plus if you wanted to, like all the Pro Football Focus analytics, like put it all in one computer program and then just have it spit out 12 or 16 teams at you and be like, hey, there's no argument about this. These are the best teams on paper via the metrics.
Yes, and you could do it every week. You could do it if you want to start whenever the playoff rankings come out. I mean, you could have these rankings be a thing all season if you really wanted to, if we're talking about things we're going to write and talk about. I think, to me, that makes the most sense, is doing it that way. If you want to get rid of conference championship games and have more play-in, because that's good football, and that's what we want to see, right? Two good teams. Now, I'm not saying punish the top teams like you were talking about, but two good teams. Like that first round last year, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it going in. There were good games. I went back and watched some of them because I was getting ready to go cover the
SMU Penn State game wasn't that good.
No, but, I mean, at least there was, like, something on the line, right? Like, despite the fact that Penn State won handily, like, it was entertaining because there was a lot that mattered in that game.
Yeah, it was the nature of the beast. You win or you go home.
Yeah, exactly. So I like having those. I do think that the Eli Drinkwitz's idea was a bit much.
I agree.
So
I told you that.
I looked it up. Nate. Guess who if the 8th place team in the SEC was last year?
Missouri.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah. I didn't have that up in front of me, but that was just a guess given his very long and eloquent speech on why 30 teams need to get into the playoffs, Nate.
8-5 in the Big Ten would have put 8-5 Minnesota in the
see what I mean? Nobody needs
Minnesota. Also, Michigan and Iowa get in.
Yeah, I don't need it. We're good.
Right.
We saw it in the regular season. It's fine. You have 5 losses. You don't get to be in the playoffs.
Right. And at some point, there's going to be a team like that gets if you have a field that big that goes on a run and either makes the national championship.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly. But I don't think it's possible.
Well, look, I mean, not that they're the same sport at all, but in basketball, I mean, anytime you have one-off games,
different game.
They are, but you're going to have a team.
One's football, one's basketball.
There will be a year where, I don't know, that Minnesota team we're super healthy somehow, and we run into 3 teams in a row that have banged up quarterback, something like that will happen. It's like, do we really want an 8-5 Minnesota being crowned the national champion because they got the easiest path or whatever it may be? No, we don't want that.
How much did center Carson Hinzmann learn from Seth McLaughlin last year? You're going to hear from him coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See? We didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way. If that's our us a ring, call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining healthcare.
Soy has been keeping secrets, and it's ready to share. Soybeans are among the most versatile agricultural products. They are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we all love and use every day. Ohio is leading the way, developing new uses for soybeans to support our changing world. Soy low-key slays, and I'm here for it. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Just a very slight chance of a shower or storm, mainly across the southern parts of the area. High temperatures on this Thursday, mid-80s. Overnight, down to around 70 with partly cloudy skies to start off your Friday morning. During the day, more clouds than sun, light winds, and just a very slight chance of a late-day shower or storm. High temperatures in the low 80s. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
The only radio show that bleeds scarlet and gray. This is the Buckeye Show.
Hanging out at Yogi's in Grandview tonight. $3 draft specials on course till 8 o'clock. How you feeling, Pat? You all right?
I'm good. Jeff keeps coming over here and stealing these, so if you're watching on the YouTube, they're not diminishing because of us, but it does. My friendship with Jeff is slowly diminishing. I will say that.
They are calling to me like the One Ring constantly calls Spiegel. I'll tell you that much. They are kind of in arm's reach. It'll be good. We'll survive till 8 o'clock. Hopefully everybody's having a good night out there. You can come by. Again, we're out here at Yogi's in Grandview until 8, $3 course specials. So I was listening to the Bobby Carpenter show the other day. Bob actually had Carson Hinzmann on a couple of days ago, had C.J. Hicks on.
I saw the C.J. Hicks one. I have not heard the Carson Hinzmann one.
And then had Ryan Day on today. Ooh. So they were just doing all Buckeye Week. They were doing media days before media days on the YouTube stream. And, I figured, we talk about offensive line not a great amount when we get into the season unless it's poor. So I wanted to give some guys their shine. Let's do the Carson Hinzmann little segment here. So this was from the Bobby Carpenter show. And Carson went through a lot, Pat. I mean, you can chronicle it here at Ohio State. Kind of gets benched. Seth McLaughlin comes in and then plays a huge part last year in the college football playoff for this Ohio State team. And here was Carson Hinzmann. Nate, we'll go 4-5-4-1-6 here, just on how everything went down and his decision to stay.
For me, obviously that was kind of a tough decision at the time, just because, obviously, like how you said, the era of people leaving and stuff right now is so prevalent. I really had to pray on it, honestly, and really try to reflect on what I want to do and really what I think would make me the best player and what I can do for this team. And talking with my parents and my family and stuff like that as well was really kind of what helped me stay as well, just because I love competition. Like, I can't do anything without competition. And Seth coming in was looked at as competition for me, not only for me against him, but for competition for me against me, learning from him, becoming a better player. And at first, I obviously looked at Seth as a competitor. I look at him as a brother, like he's great. Just gotten engaged up, 45 minutes from me, which is pretty cool. And we still talk a lot about different stuff that he's learning right now in the Bengals, and just spending that time with him, I think, was super important, not only competing with him, but just learning from him as well, because obviously, being a Remington Award winner, that's pretty cool. So definitely set the standard of what I want to try to become an overtop for sure.
For all intents and purposes, Carson Hinzmann had every reason to leave this program, Pat. Every reason in the world.
It was such a strange situation because, look, Carson Hinzmann wasn't supposed to start in 2023.
Yeah.
You had Josh Myers, who left earlier than I think everyone expected after 1 year as a starter. So he was thrust into a somewhat difficult situation, but you're an athlete. You want to play, right? Hey, now's my opportunity. Let's go seize it.
We were just talking about it with Jeff a little bit earlier.
Exactly.
Igor Chinikov,
yes,
right?
So you jump in there. Was it the best season Ohio State's had at center? No. But then he goes, and I was going to say, I'm honestly, if it wasn't Bobby, I don't know if he does a podcast, given that
I had the same thoughts while I was watching it.
Given the hot water that before the Cotton Bowl, he doesn't play in the Cotton Bowl, whether that was some sort of secret suspension or just the Buckeyes. They reshuffled that whole offensive line, really, for that game, and it did not work, by the way. But
no, it didn't.
Then
all thanks to Eli Drinkwitz in Missouri.
Yes, exactly. The man, the legend. But you go to the offseason, okay, let me get better, let me do this. Well, real quickly, actually, I think even before the bowl game, Seth McLaughlin commits to Ohio State out of the transfer portal. Yeah. So going in, I've got competition. Now, he's talking about it there. He thrives on that, right? And I think you saw the best of that. Okay, you want me to go play guard against Penn State? Let's do it. I'm going to play in between a guy I know and Donnie and Seth here, who I've now gotten into a formal relationship with. Oh, wait, you need me to jump back to center? I'm going to have the best version of myself playing center. I think not only did competition bring the best out, but Seth also helped him become a much better center, and you saw it by the end of the season.
Here was his thoughts on when Seth McLaughlin went down, when he ruptured his Achilles in practice, just what transpired after Seth McLaughlin actually went down.
First play of scout period, we're running inside zone to the right, and me and we're going into a wide side, and me and Donnie had a B block on the backside, and I remember Seth looks at me, he's like, what the heck, Carson? I'm like, what? He's like, you kicked me in the back of the leg, because he thought I kicked him. I wasn't even near him, and I was like, I don't think I did. I wasn't near you. And all of a sudden, he obviously gets pretty distraught, because I had no idea what happened. He walks away, and he's limping pretty hard. I still have no idea what happened. Carsko at center, and I was fully ready to be playing guard for the rest of the season. So I got both my gloves taped on, and so I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go back, and I still had no idea what happened until after the practice of what really happened to him, because everyone was so what just happened, But Seth did a great job though. Even when he got injured, he still was in our meetings every day, helping me, giving me tips and stuff like that on what we're going to play, people that he's played before, and what he would do and stuff like that. So him being there was a huge confidence booster to me, not only because I played the position before, but watching him do it, and then him also having kind of a coaching position to help me in that regards as well was really, really cool. But definitely what helped me a lot too was the confidence I think the other guys on the line had for me to move back to that position as well. I know Josh instilled a lot of confidence in me, Josh Fryer, which helped me a lot, along with Donnie and Teg, and then Luke and Pig, who were sliding in and out, was really important for me just to know that I can trust them with their job, but they can trust me with getting them right.
It's kind of fitting because Austin and I were talking about who's going to be starting next to Caleb Downs this year, and we were talking about Malik Hartford. And similarly, Malik Hartford started as a true freshman. You look at his camp his freshman year, and he was all world. His name was being said over the PA. Came in with a lot of hype, and then Pat got hurt, had to do a lot of learning, and now he's expected to be in that role, compete for it at least next to Caleb Downs this year. I think there's a lot of similarities between these kind of stories on this Ohio State team this year.
100%. You have to overcome. Obviously, as a player, you hope things go as smoothly as possible in your career.
Yeah, you hope to be Jeremiah Smith, right?
Or Marvin Harrison. He came to Ohio State. He played a little bit as a freshman, 2 great years. Now he's off to the NFL as a top 5 pick. Doesn't always happen that way, and sometimes that adversity makes you better. And even the player that maybe you'd been on the trajectory to be, now you're that much higher up in terms of your development and just your work and things like that. You hear it from coaches all the time. It feels so much sweeter when you earn something, right, than when it's just not given to you. Nobody's given anything in that program. But, if you're Jeremiah Smith, not to say that he doesn't deserve or earn everything he gets.
Because he does.
He does, absolutely. But, the struggle that Carson had to go through of, okay, now I'm the starting center for this team. Now I'm not the starting center for this team. They bring in somebody else. Now I'm playing guard. Now I'm back at center. Just crazy. Also, him talking about the Achilles injury. Yeah. I've heard other people, Tyrese Halliburton.
Someone kicked me, right?
Yeah, and just, I couldn't. People talk about how they can't, put their foot down. Joe Burrow, that was who I recently heard talk about. You just couldn't feel anything underneath. Or no, excuse me. It was Kirk Cousins in that quarterback show, which they're both in. You just can't feel your foot going to the ground. I've done some other injuries, but that sounds as scary as it would be if something happened on the field.
Yeah, so to your point, so he got to spend the majority of the year learning behind Seth McLaughlin. And I thought this was a really good cut from Carson. Again, this is from the Bobby Carpenter show on when Seth came in, how the learning curve was a bit steep, but he ultimately ended up learning from Seth.
At least for me, be a competitive guy, what helped me get to where I'm at and where I want to be. I would look anything Seth did, I wanted to do one more. You know what I mean? Even if if you were doing hamstring walks, something like that in the line, I'd do one more. If we were doing squats, I wanted to do one more. If we did plate pitch competition, I always wanted to do 1 second longer than him. Any single thing that he did, he probably, I don't even know if he realized it, but I would always try to be picking on and trying to just do one more. At the time, I just thought, I'm trying to beat him, but at the end of the day, it made me such a better player and better person just from trying to compete with him, and then going into the season of us being roommates in the hotel and stuff like that, and actually get really close and learning from him his ideas of how he looks at a defense, how he attacks the game plan, how he's looking at this and be like, why don't you try this? And he's like, that's what I've always done, and why don't you try that? And I was like, that's actually a really good idea. Let me try that. Or the way he sits in his hips compared to other people, and what I've learned from people that have been here in the past. So it's just it's just a huge mindset shift for me, having an older guy in the room, because I never really had that. And so having a guy who comes in and is weathered, is he's a vet, has played a lot of ball, has faced a lot of adversity, but he's one of those guys where what I want to be, where you can just kind of set your watch to him all the time. Very consistent guy, very consistent player, and so that gave me confidence, honestly, going into the Penn State game, being able to play with 2 All-Americans, one on my right, one on my left, to go in there and just kind of play free and play just have fun. Because at the end of the day, I feel like that's when I play my best, is when I'm having fun, and so those guys were a blast to be around, not only on the field but off as well.
Again, Carson Hinzmann going through a lot of trials and tribulations here at Ohio State, kind of took umbrage with Seth McLaughlin coming in.
Sure.
They're fast friends now, and that's a guy in Seth McLaughlin who's obviously been through very many ups and downs in his career as well.
Yeah, and he talked about being in between 2 All-Americans. Maybe this all worked out the best situation for everybody, right? Josh Simmons gets hurt. Well, he's a first-round pick. He's on the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. Donovan Jackson shows he can play tackle. I don't know if he'll need that in the NFL, but that's now in his wheelhouse, right? Yep. Carson Hinzmann gets some experience at guard, his confidence gets built back up when he needs to step in there. Now he's going to be your starting
coach,
center again.
I can do it.
Yeah, and if you need him at guard for some reason this year, you've got it there. And obviously with Seth McLaughlin, once he gets healthy, he's now in the NFL as well. So, and you win the national championship, which is the cherry on top.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
I think it's cool how it all worked out. In the moment, it was a lot of like, what's going to happen here? Especially after Seth went down, you'd already reshuffled this line. It was a question coming in. You go into the college football playoff, you're rotating guards. I remember talking to Justin Fry, like,
what the heck is going on
Where did you
here?
come up with this idea? And actually, he'd seen it done before, just not at that same level. And it was like, man,
have fun.
Yeah, like that's a risky move to pull as you enter the playoff, but there's a reason they did it, and it worked.
You mentioned Justin Fry. He is now gone. How has the offseason coaching change for offensive line affected Carson Hinzmann and the rest of this offensive line? You're going to hear that coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Now's a great time to save on cherries. Fresh picked red cherries are on sale for only $2.99 a pound with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We're very close to Buckeye football. Very close. Uncomfortably close. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
14 days away if you're counting. It's from where we're at the start of the Buckeye football season as they get camp underway 2 weeks from today. We here on The Buckeye Show brought to you by our great friends over at Coors Light. When those mountains are blue, those things are as cold as the Rockies, and I can confirm that the ones in the ice bucket in front of us do have the blue mountains. They're very cold. You can come and hang out at Yogi's in Grandview with us until 8 o'clock. $3 draft Coors specials on tap. How you living over there? You doing all right? I see you just pumping out content left and right.
No, I'm just checking on things, making sure I know what we're talking about next. And
Carson Hinzmann, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I just had to check to make sure. Okay, is he going to throw a curveball at me here?
What curveball do you want?
I don't.
Yeah,
I like right down the middle. I realize I don't ask you back, how are you doing? So how are you doing?
Me? I'm good. We were actually, the last 2 days we've been going through potty training at home.
Oh, yes.
I can report it was a little touch and go there a little bit yesterday. My lovely wife Meredith, at home hanging out with Willie, usually goes to bed between 7:30 and 8, so I hope he's on his way to bed right now. We did have a successful number 2 in the potty today. All by himself. It was an independent poo. So very proud of that young man for doing that.
Good for him.
It was a little scary. We did have an incident yesterday. I told Austin about that. You can go back and listen to the podcast if you want to hear that full story. But I had my doubts heading into today, day 2 of the potty training. But we are, I think, on our way to learning how to use a potty, which is very nice.
Fantastic.
So that was good. I got a nice text that said, "Stop the show. He did it independently. I was very excited about that. We'll go back to Carson Hinzmann again. He was on the Bobby Carpenter Show. Him and Schleggs put on a fantastic one. They had Ryan Day on today. We'll hear from some of Coach coming up on tomorrow's show when Austin is with us when we're back in studio. But Carson Hinzmann, one of the few Buckeyes, Patrick, to earn the achievement of becoming an Iron Buckeye. Here was Carson Hinzmann's thoughts and process on that.
You can be either gold, red, or blue.
Yep.
And gold is a champion, and obviously everyone wants to be a champion. Red is you're kind of there, and then blue is obviously no bueno, you're no good. Ever since I got here, everything, like I always wanted to be, one, an Iron Buckeye, and two, to be a full gold guy. And for those gold, to be gold, one of the things you have to do is you have to hit all your metrics. So we take average combine testings and stuff like that, and you have to hit those metrics for each one of those, whether it's like pro shuttle, vertical, 225 test, pull-ups, and there's a few other things in there as well. But I've been really fortunate to be the only guy on the team to have a full gold bar right now. So it's something I'm really proud of. A lot of obviously hard work. It took almost 4 years to get, so obviously not easy, but we made it.
Talk about trial and tribulations, man. It took him 4 years to get here. Had a lot of stuff going on with him. And by the way, the last time I checked, there's a lot of freakazoids on Ohio State's roster. And for Carson Hinzmann to be the only Buckeye with all full gold bars right now at Ohio State, that's a pretty impressive accomplishment. I know it's off-field and it's developmental stuff, but that will translate certainly into what we're thinking is going to be a Remington run this year.
Yes, and look, I know that Urban Meyer used to publicize the champions, right? Each week, it was in the game notes that we would get when we go to the press conference, and people would put it out and everything. Ryan Day has kind of kept that more behind closed doors. He'll sometimes bring up so and so's been a champion this week, or 4 straight weeks or whatever. This offseason stuff, and they do post it on social media. Mm-hmm. It doesn't get
dudes of the week, right?
Yes, it doesn't get the appreciation it probably deserves because it's a big deal, and I get you're in the off season. Maybe you're not paying as close attention until things start to gear up, like we're talking about next week. But the fact that you can go and achieve this in the off season when no one is watching, right? Some of the most important stuff you could possibly do to get you ready for the season, and to hear that Carson's done that well is great to hear because again, he's going to be the apex of your offensive line.
Nate, we're going to skip 45418 on his goals, and we'll go right to Tyler Bowen. But he talked a little bit about Justin Fry, right? And Justin Fry reshaping the line. You talked about it a little bit there, Pat, and just kind of a crazy idea and what it was at the time, but it ended up working out really well for Ohio State. Well, Justin Fry is gone. He's hanging out with Paris Johnson Jr. He is now out in Arizona as the offensive line coach out there. Here was Carson Hinzmann just describing what it's been like an offseason with Tyler Bowen.
Coach Bowen right now, he came in. He's definitely a different, I would say, personality, but the guys freaking love him. Like, it's so much fun, like, to see him come in and having kind of that. I mean, I guess he's not fresh out of the league, but pretty, close, fresh out of the league perspective and stuff like that has been really cool to learn from. And because he's an OC guy, so I guess Fry was too, but he'll break down not only our job and our position, but like, why are we doing it? Because, Coach Day always talks about first it's what you're doing, next is how you're going to do it, and the third is why, for complete understanding. And so Coach Bowen, I think, does a really good job of allowing us to completely understand what we're doing and what we're going to do, along with having 2 other great assistant coaches who were, head of line coaches at where they were at as well in the room, with Coach Johnson and Coach Dickey, and also having a GA. So we really have, 3 or 4, O-line coaches. It's been pretty cool to be able to work with those guys, because now it's the case of at first when there's only one O-line coach, one GA, he'll get back to you at film, but now during a play, like, there's eyes on every single person, and so you're getting a coaching tip after every single rep and stuff like that. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, just to think about that for a second. I mean, when Carson Hinzmann came in, Pat, that wasn't the case. That rule got changed last year or a couple of years ago, right, where you could have multiple coaches in the room and a GA that are actually allowed to participate on-field drills. Now, that never used to be the case. It was the assistant coaches and the head coach, and that was it. And right. GAs would help. They would obviously, be in the room and helping the guys.
Yes.
Helping, like,
couldn't do on-field stuff.
Yeah, they would probably hold pads, even though it would be
around
technically an NCAA violation if you did that. But to his point, imagine working out for 2 hours, whatever a practice is at Ohio State. I think they're close to 2 hours, probably depending on the day. I'm sure their camp days are a little bit longer. But you guys you're installing something, right, on offense, and I need to learn how to step, or I need to learn which hand to use. And now you get immediate feedback. You don't have to wait after the 2 hours, then wait another 22 hours until you go back out there the next day and do that. The immediate feedback nature of that offensive line room, I think, is going to be huge. And just the veteran presence that they have is also going to be another key factor, I think. So it sounds like this offensive line room and the coaching staff have a really good idea and handle on things right now with immediate feedback.
Right, and think about it from Tyler Bowen's perspective. Okay, you can only see so much on any given rep, right? When guys are going at one time. Now you've got other guys that are also watching that, so they can, give the players feedback, but they can give you feedback, hey, this guy's doing this, let's clean this up right now, type of thing. I think it's great that Ohio State has leaned into this. It was interesting when we first got out to spring practice, seeing that many guys over there coaches working with the offensive line.
It's like going to an NFL practice now. There's guys all over, coaches all over the place.
And like you said, I think it's going to be a big benefit for these guys' development. And even once you get in the season, ideas, hey, why didn't this work? Well, we did this at this stop, right? So now you've got even more guys with voices in the room, experience, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely you do. We're doing one more from Carson Hinzmann again. You can go watch it on the Bobby Carpenter Show on his YouTube page. His off-season work, and a lot of it got hyped up because it was with Buckeye legend LaCharles Bentley.
He's like, man, if you guys got people that you think are going to help you go play well, go work with them. He's like, if we're not here, go work with them. Like, it's totally fine. He's like, as long as we come back and we can play the best ball we can, that's all that needs to be done. And for me, I think LaCharles is a great, an awesome resource for me to go and go really work with. And him being pretty close in Cleveland a lot, or going down to AZ and working with those guys down there, I think I've become 10 times the player I was this last season. Just not only working on specific techniques, but body mechanics and different like the way your anatomy moves and stuff like that, just ways I wasn't thinking before, that helped me get in positions I didn't want to be in, but now I have that thought process to get into the ideal positions where I want to be at my strongest, and really allowing myself to carry what I do in the weight room onto the field. And so I think working with him has been the best blessing I can get, especially because he's great with times and anything like that, with him allowing me to come up and work with him, or allowing me to fly down to AZ whenever and go and work out there as well. It's been super, super cool to go and work out with there, because I was just out in AZ a little bit ago, and you guys saw that video, and it was cool because like Paris was there, and a bunch of other old Bucks were there, which is pretty cool, talking to them, and like Taylor Decker's there, like Deck was there and working and stuff like that, and it's just cool to go and talk to those guys and work with them, and kind of watch how they move and stuff like that, and try to not really replicate, but find your own, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool.
I mean, it seems like a pretty good offseason, and that wasn't the case 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Guys were getting out of town. NIL, I'm sure, has allowed them now to go and put in the work. It's also neat that Tyler Bowen says, hey, if you got people that you want to work with and you're not here at the Woody grinding with your coaches, and we can't talk to you and we can't put our hands on you and actually coach you during this period, one, Carson Hinzmann wants to get better, and two, there's a whole lot worse places in the world to be learning from than under LaCharles Bentley and Taylor Decker and all those guys, and Paris Johnson Jr. out in Arizona, and what he was doing this offseason.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the continued professionalization of college athletics when you can go do that, right? These kids are still students, as Ross Bjork reminded us with his press conference of we will go to class and we will compete, but to be able to go do that, we were talking earlier, he played with Seth McLaughlin, Remington winner, helped him win. You know what LaCharles Bentley was?
Yeah, he was a Remington winner.
Yeah.
I think he was Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year as well.
So, okay.
And a two-time All-Pro.
Yeah, I'm going to go work with that guy in the offseason, in addition to what we were just talking about with the coaching that they're getting and whatnot. I think is huge. Obviously, we've seen other positions do that. I think it was down in Florida with Brandon Innes and Carnell Tate and those guys doing work with NFL guys. This is great that they're able to do that from a football perspective, getting better when they can't be with the Ohio State coaches. I'm glad to hear someone like Carson, who, again, Josh Padilla's there. He doesn't have a ton of competition. He could have probably taken this offseason and done his work and made sure he was ready to go.
And it probably would have been good enough.
Exactly.
He said he's 10 times the football,
better.
which is a lot.
That is
a lot better than what he was last year, and he was pretty good to end the season last year.
If he's 5 times better, say he exaggerated a little bit. He's only half as good as he thinks he is. That'll be a darn good player.
Hashtag Buckeyes coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway and refresh the vibe with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks. Get 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks at Speedway with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
You know that thing you've always been too scared to go for? It seems like you'll never have the guts. Then a cancer diagnosis. And doing that thing becomes way less scary. I would know. I've always wanted a black belt. And today, the only thing standing in my way is a few wooden boards. It's been a lot of hard work and 5 years since I beat cancer at Ohio Health. Bring it on. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Bourbon. Cherry Valley Hotel will be hosting a bourbon event called Neat on Saturday, July 26th from 4 to 9 p.m. Explore 15 distilleries, including Woodford, Middle West, and Watershed, along with live music, a cigar bar, classes, and more. For more information, visit cherryvalleyhotel.com.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Bishop and Friends.
He wants like the store-bought pumpkin pie. He doesn't want the
doesn't want hydrogenated oils.
Can't you just buy the pumpkin pie filling?
The puree?
Bishop and Friends, sponsored by Diamond Cellar.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on The Fan. Get Eco.
ECO.
Aaron, you know that complete HVAC system we sell for $12,000?
Yeah, it's for homes that are 1,600 square feet or less.
How big is 1,600 square feet?
3 bedroom, 2.5 bath. Those homes are what America is made of.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Other companies are charging $15,000 to $18,000 for that same system.
Yeah, I know.
And if your family doesn't need a new furnace, Eco will replace the AC component for just $8,500. Why are we doing this?
Nurses, police officers, office workers, firefighters, and school teachers live in those houses, Jerry.
The people that America is made of live in the houses that America is made of.
We're just doing what we can to restore balance to the universe, Jerry.
Get Eco.
ECO.
When a person is doing well, they're making money. But when they're doing good, they're helping others.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
We're bringing balance to the universe.
Go to geteco.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at The Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Tell you what, scrolling social media is sometimes fun. It's not fun sometimes for CEOs of large company who get caught cheating on their wife at a Coldplay concert. You asked me this at like 6:30. Like, did you see this guy? I'm like, Pat, that's all I was looking at today online. The memes were out of control. It was a great day in internet history today.
The best part of that video is Chris Martin doesn't even hesitate to call it out.
I didn't even watch it with the audio on, Nate. I was just so entranced.
He's like, that's someone having an affair, isn't it?
Oh, he said that?
He said it.
That's the best part about it. You're right. That's amazing.
Well, this statement that he just put out.
So if you're not aware of the situation and you haven't been on social media today, or if you're on Facebook, it'll hit your timeline in about 2.5 weeks. So there was Coldplay was playing. I think they were in Boston, right, Nate? I think they were in Boston last night. Is what they were doing, and they pan in on crowds to see who's having a good time, like any concert act does who's as large as Coldplay. You zoom in on people having a good time. So there's a guy and a gal having a fantastic time. Guys behind the gal, they're hugging. Seems like they're
kind of the prom hug.
Yeah, prom hug, PDA. Like everybody's having a nice time. Looks like a behind the back hug. So they immediately get shown up on the jumbotron. And then they both, the dude just disappears out of the picture.
Yeah, she turns around and covers her face.
The lady turns her face. There's someone next to him that's smiling and laughing. So it turned out that the great internet sleuths of our generation actually identified who it was, obviously having an affair. And it was a CEO of a company named Astronomer. Now, I have never heard of said company named Astronomer, nor have I ever heard of their CEO, Andy Byron, but he got caught red-handed in the act. The video has 500 million views on it on Twitter today. You want to talk about a bad situation to be in for that guy? Man, because that divorce is not going to be cheap either, because the internet has estimated his net worth value to be $1.1 billion.
So we were talking about money going into your bank account. That's a lot of money in your bank account.
That's a lot of money going out of your bank account.
Yes, good point. In his statement, he apologizes, and this isn't who he wants to be. He's going to take time to figure out, take time to reflect and take accountability and all that, and that's good. And we should say this is awful for his wife and his family.
Of course it is.
But then he ends it by saying, I want to express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. I respect artists and entertainers, but I hope we can all think more deeply about the impact of turning someone else's life into a spectacle. No, man. You did this.
Pat, no, you're leaving off the best part. He signs off this company press release with a line from Coldplay. As a friend once sang, lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. You can't say that in a press release, man.
I just learned that lyric. I knew the lights will guide you home. I didn't know what they said after that. Yeah, the ignite your bones, I did not know.
Did you confuse me with Chris Martin there for a second?
Yeah. But to me, it was all fine, and if you want to end it with that funny part, that's fine too, I guess. But, you're at a concert. As you said, Beam, this isn't uncommon. They do it at concerts.
If you wouldn't have moved, if you would have stuck with the hug, it wouldn't have gone viral. Right. You're probably in the clear.
Yes, probably. Also, just don't be a scumbag and cheat on your wife.
Yes, that's naturally the first point.
And then don't be like, hey, this is on me. And Coldplay did what happens at every concert,
Coldplay had nothing
every
to do
sporting
with
event. They are allowed to show you in the crowd. You paid for a ticket to be at their show.
Man.
To briefly change the topic, though.
Also, hold on, before you get to what you're going to talk about, the lady who he was hugging was the head of HR for the company, which makes it even better.
Yes, that's a good point. We should have added that.
Thanks, humanity.
Here at Yogi's, they've got the CFL on.
Yeah. And
I just always forget how different the CFL is than the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's football-ish.
Yes.
It is football. I mean, they're wearing pads. They're wearing helmets.
Yeah.
It is the game. But the lineups and the motions before the snap, you get a point for kicking the ball into the crowd, even if you miss the goalpost, like on a field goal.
It just caught me. I was sort of half watching it as we're talking. And I'm like, wait, they're moving. This is the CFL. That's what's happening. Next time you have DeVere on with you.
I know. I'm going
to talk to him about just because the receiving game is probably one of the weirdest parts of like, this is not how I grew up playing football. It
probably is a nice advantage.
Oh, sure, but just
to
learn, like, you don't have to go look at the referee and like make sure you're set. I imagine it just would take some learning. I would think.
Yeah. So I don't even know who's playing right now.
Yeah, I can't tell.
In the Canadian Football League, maybe the Montreal Alouettes. That's like the one. That's the one team that I know.
It looks like Toronto.
The Argonauts.
I can't tell what the other team
I can't either, but it's a great game. Pat is enthralled. Before we get out of here today, our fan poll at 971thefan.com or on X at 971thefan. Did you watch any of the ESPYs last night? Yes or no? No, I didn't. I saw plenty of clips of Shane Gillis though this morning.
That is all that I saw.
I didn't see any of the. I didn't see any like who won the awards. I know Breakthrough Women's Athlete was Alona Marr, who is the rugby player from America.
Ohio State awesome. Lost to the Philadelphia Eagles for the team of the year.
You know, you were still in the conversation, though.
Yeah.
You were still up there.
Yeah,
all I saw was Shane Gillis.
I saw on social media that I think it was Cody Simon, Will Howard, and one other Buckeye was there in case they won the award.
Was G. Scott there?
I think it was G. Scott. There you go.
And I saw, for whatever reason, G. Scott was like hanging out with John Jones before the ESPYs.
Good for him.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. Props.
I would also like to hang out with John Jones.
Pretty cool that those guys got to do it, though. But no, I did not watch. Typically, it's not appointment viewing. If there's nothing else on, I don't even remember what I did last night, but I did not watch.
I was playing the new college football game is what I was doing.
I don't even know what day of the week it is.
It's Thursday, Pat. We're at Yogi's.
The crew game was on. That's what I was doing.
I was actually, I watched that, and then it got to 3-0, and it was the 80th. I'm like, you know what? I've seen enough. I'm going to save myself for Saturday.
I watched till the end, unfortunately.
You're stronger than I was. I made it 80 minutes. I said, there's just no chance they're going to get back in this game. No way.
And they didn't.
No, they didn't. They did not get back into the game. So you, Pat, have a big weekend. You're not in tomorrow. You and Austin did a little swap-a-rooski. Yeah. You worked on Monday. Austin is in tomorrow. You've got a massive birthday coming up. Then summer vacation's over for you, buddy. You're on your way to Vegas.
I wouldn't call it a massive birthday. It's just a birthday. But
any birthday's massive.
Sure.
When the crew play on it.
That is true. It hasn't happened often. We can do Beers and Buckeyes tomorrow?
Yeah, we are going to do Beers and Buckeyes. I was going to ask you after this, but since you asked on the air, yes, we had it planned. I didn't know if you were going out with your lovely fiancée, Sarah, or not.
It doesn't matter. I've answered the phone from all over the place.
Yeah, I know you have. Pat, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for everybody at Yogi's for taking care of us. You can come not on a Thursday. They're open. It's all good. We'll be back next Thursday as well. Everybody have an awesome night. ESPN Radio is going to guide you right through the evening right here on The Fan.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio